Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chat Channel. My name is Tim Hayden, and I'm your host for today. We have a super show for you today. Our guest is the gorgeous Charlene Tilton. Charlene is an actress, producer, and singer. She starred in many television shows and films such as Happy Days, Freaky Friday, Knots Landing, and many more. She's widely known for playing Lucy Ewing on the hit show Dallas. And most recently, she starred in the movie Heaven Sent that you can stream on the Pure Flix network. Welcome, Charlene. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So
Awesome.
I normally start off with at the beginning, but today I'm going to do it a little bit different. I would like to start because I just watched this movie yesterday, Heaven Sent. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. That means so much to me because I have to tell you, of all the projects I've ever done, I think this is a phenomenal movie. I love it.
I did too. I mean, it wasn't what I was expecting. It was better. Not because of you. I'm just saying because I'm not a huge rom-com fan. So if it's a rom-com that I like, it's got to be good because and this is excellent. Excellent movie.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, huh?
It is, and you do so great. The movie is it's a romantic comedy that shares stories of three couples at different stages of life and is a journey through finding love, hope, joy after loss. Your character, Pam, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I loved her. That was
Thank you.
phenomenal. So can you tell us about your character, Pam?
Yeah, well, my character, Pam, has this best friend, Elise, which I love that, the fact that you've got two women, two best friends. It's a story about them, first and foremost, about their friendship. And back in the 80s, they had a hit song, and they were called Sugar and Spice.
Nice.
And they were, like a one-hit wonder. And so all these years, Elise's son gets killed in Afghanistan and when he's deployed, and so she's raising her grandson. So the grandson is now 18. Elise and I have been single forever, and I have decided it's time for Elise and I to go out and grab life by the horns and go get out and live and have some fun. So Elise ends up meeting a pastor who's widowed, and I meet somebody at a speed dating evening, and we both fall in love. And then her grandson actually meets somebody, a lovely young lady. So there are three simultaneous love stories, but we're all interconnected, and it is really funny and adorable.
Well, I do have to.
Like the fact at our age, at my age, they're saying, yeah, you can find love, you can, and you don't see that a lot. So that was kind of fun.
Oh, for sure. Love knows no discretion at all.
Yes,
in my opinion, not at all. Age, it doesn't. The fact that her grandson in the movie was doing the online thing kind of, I don't know, maybe question how I would react to that if somebody did that to me without me knowing about it. I mean, it was great for her. I loved how it worked out.
Yes, I know, right? Exactly. Yeah. But but I love the fact that it showed that they got in a tiff, they got angry with each other. And I also loved that the character of the pastor was real. He was a widow, he was grieving, he was going through his own issues. And then there was a married couple in the praise and worship team that were having problems in their marriage. So they didn't portray these church people as caricatures, too
Right.
heavenly minded to be any earthly good. They were just real people with real issues. They happen to be Christians, go to church, love the Lord, but they were still dealing with issues. So I love that. They kept them real. It wasn't cheesy.
For sure. And it wasn't overtly religious. It was
Right, yeah.
That was a good thing that they did, I thought.
Me too.
I know people think pure FX, that's what their mind goes to sometimes, but it's not this movie. This movie is not.
I just think PureFlix is, I call it the inspirational Netflix. And I love who doesn't like, I'm on my Netflix every day, but, but PureFlix is, it's everything there, it'll be inspirational, uplifting,
Mhm.
some has faith, but it's all inspirational somehow, some way. And so, you know, when you watch Pure Flix, you know what you're getting, and which I love that too.
Well, due to this movie here, I am now a subscriber of PureFlix, and I'm
Yeah,
already started a third movie on their network because I do like the network a lot.
they've got
They
some
have a
good
lot.
movies coming.
They
Yeah,
really do. They really do, and they're not B movies. They're A-rated movies. They're great.
I have to tell you this. Yes, I agree. The movie Heaven Sent is better than other movies I've done.
Oh, for sure. I was just saying movies on that, on the whole network. It's not what you're thinking. It's good movies.
The
Excellent
quality, yeah.
movies. Yes. So are you anything like your character Pam, you think?
You know, I kind of am. I like to get out there. I like to say yes to things, opportunities, and I love to go have fun. Unlike Pam, I'm not necessarily out there looking to meet somebody. I've been single for a long time, but I'm not like, out there looking for somebody. I would never go on a speed dating evening. And I would never go on a dating service, even though I know people that have met people very successfully
Yes.
on, dating sites, but that's not for me. I just can't see myself ever doing that. So we'll see. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You never know.
I agree. I'm not one that would do those sites either, but I've not closed my mind off or my heart off. It's open.
That's it. I love that. Yeah. My heart's open, my mind's open, but I got at my age, I want somebody who's going to step up to the plate. I'm not supporting anybody. I want somebody who can take care of themselves. I want somebody who's in good shape. I got a lot of energy. You got to keep up with me. I want to, I like to go and do and travel and have fun. So I'm not a walk in the park either. So
Well,
they have to put up with me, but
and like you, I have children, and that would be a big issue too. You've got to, if you accept me, you've got to take them. It's a package deal.
of
And
course.
they're adults, but still.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
My youngest will be 33 in December.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yes.
you're right. Even though they're adults, they still have they're in the picture, and I'm with my daughter every day and my grandkids. So, yeah,
Well,
we're packaged deal.
a lot of young people think that, oh, I raised my kids, they're 18, they're out of the house. No, they might be out of the house, but you're not far from done.
You're never done, but
No.
right.
What do you hope people take away from this movie?
Well, from Heaven Sent, I think that there's so many layers to it. The fact that that my character has really made a conscious choice. I say, yeah, we're not 20, but there's still a lot of life left to live, and we can go and have a good time. And I'm actually looking to have fun, and I'm vibrant and I'm energetic. And then my best friend Elise, she lost her son, so she's got that, and she's raising her grandson, and so she's kind of closed off. And then her grandson finds love on the internet, which is a whole nother thing that young people do today, and I don't understand any of that. So I couldn't Zoom without the help of our dear Susan here. So
Well, I'm not much on meeting people online either. I think that's a little weird, unless they're in your town and you meet as a group first. I would say. Well, everyone, if you've not had the opportunity to see it, it is airing right now on purefx.com. Heaven Sent, phenomenal movie. I'm going to kind of move on because I got a lot more to talk to you about.
right.
So when did you know acting was what you wanted to do? I'm going to go back to the beginning now.
I made a conscious decision when I was really early, honestly, about 3 years old. I was in a Greyhound bus station with my mother, and there was maybe like 15 people or so in there. Nobody was talking to each other. The bus was delayed. We were all just sitting there. I was bored. And all of a sudden I look at somebody and go, hi, and I look at somebody else and do a cute little thing. And all of a sudden, someone comes over and says, oh my gosh, she's adorable. And then someone else comes over and all of a sudden everyone's around me because I'm just an adorable, cute little 3-year-old blonde kid. And I start singing my ABCs and zippity doo dah, and everyone's clapping and thinking, and I went and I realized I brought all these people together. How fun is this? Nobody's bored anymore. I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was like such a conscious decision. And then as I got older, well, the first movie I ever saw was Mary Poppins. The second movie I ever saw was The Sound of Music. So I really wanted Julie Andrews to be my mother because as Mary Poppins, she could just, go like this, and the room was clean, and everything was fine, and then as Maria von Trapp, she could make the clothes out of the drapes, and everybody had music and singing, and then I watched the Brady Bunch, and you got a blended family, and their biggest problem in this blended family is, oh dear, is Janet allergic to Tiger the dog or his flea powder? And I'm like, wow, I want to get in the TV. I want to get in the movies. Life is great inside the TV. Life is great inside the movies. I mean, I really thought that as a kid, like, I want to be there. Life is easy. Life is great.
I'm right there with you. I was the same way. I'd watch TV over any other options to do things. That was just my thing. I was so entertained by it. So how was it for you? I know you started off on your own when you were 15. How was that growing up in Hollywood at that age?
I actually loved growing up in Hollywood. It was surrounded by the studios. You had Paramount Studios, Desilu, Screen Gems. And every day I would walk to the studios since the time I was 8 years old and look in the gates and just dream of one day being in there. And then, of course, the Hollywood sign was right out my front door. I would look and stare at it every day, and the history of Hollywood. And I would walk up and down Hollywood Boulevard and look at the stars on the sidewalk. And I loved the history of Hollywood. I loved the old movies, and so I just always loved Hollywood history, and I would always do research and reading about it. So Hollywood, it's color. It was colorful back then. I mean, you had a section where I lived. There was a lot of gang violence. Then you had Hollywood Boulevard, where there were a lot of drag queens and trans, well, back then they called them trannies, but they're the ones that actually taught me how to dress. They did. They were the ones that, I was this little kid, and there was this club that you could go to and not drink alcohol if you're under 18, and it was called The Other Side, and they would teach me how to do my hair and how to put on makeup, and even what perfume to wear, and I always called them my Henrietta Higgins, and I loved them. I mean, literally, they were the best. It was the best training I could have ever had. They were they took me under their gold lame wings and wrapped me up. It was fabulous.
Well, drag queens, I mean, they've got more guts than most people, so I think they would be the best people to learn from because they control the stage that they're on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I'm going to jump ahead to Dallas. How did Dallas come about for you? That's just, I mean, Dallas to me is like, I'm a huge Dallas fan. I'm actually rewatching it again right now.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. During the pandemic, they started showing Dallas from the beginning on Amazon Prime, and boy, oh boy, it is just, Linda Gray, Patrick Duffy, and I were just in Germany at German Comic-Con, and I had kids younger than me when I started this show. I was 17, and they were coming up and crying and say, we love you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're discovering it for the first time, or people that are rewatching it. And so it's quite amazing. It's just such a blessing. I can't even believe it. But Dallas, I read in Hollywood, there was a magazine called Dramalog, and they would post different casting notices and things. And I read this miniseries, Dallas, and I read the list of characters, and I read the character description of Lucy Ewing. I read all the character description. I read Lucy Ewing. It said she's a manipulative little sex pot, born with a silver spoon, has everything she wants, but her parents were driven off the ranch by evil JR. So when I went, oh, I have to audition for this. Well, the casting director knew me, Barbara Miller, had put me in Eight Is Enough and Code R and several shows. And my agent was calling her, and she said, no, Charlene's not right. We need somebody with more experience, somebody a little older, this and that. So every day for 2 weeks, I drove into the studio and snuck into the studio and went to her office and begged her assistant, please let me read, let me audition. Finally, after 2 weeks, they said, come back tomorrow at 5. And I said, can I have a script or sides? They said, no, just come tomorrow at 5. So the next day I came back at 1 when I knew they were at lunch. And I went through her desk. I found the script, stole the script, and worked with my acting coach, Jeff Corey. And then showed up for my audition at 5 and was lucky enough. But I knew that this part was mine. The minute I read it, I knew I got her. I really understood Lucy Ewing the minute I read the description.
I can't imagine anybody else playing that role. You owned that role. Sorry, my tongue's giving me trouble today. Yeah, because your first scene was in the hayloft with Ray.
Yes.
And Granddaddy came out.
Yeah, he did. And and I had to, and it's funny, that was the first scene I filmed on the show.
Oh wow. I loved it.
That was, so here I am, 17. It's freezing. We're like at 0 weather. It was 0 degrees. It was so cold. And here I am in a little tiny shirt, little jeans, and we're up there. And my lines to Ray Krebs were, do you still like Pam? Call me your name. Come on, do it. Call me your name. Do you know something? Honestly, I had no idea what the heck I was saying. It wasn't until I rewatched it years later, I went, oh my God.
Well, not only that, you had the binoculars when Pam and Bobby got there. And you're like, oh yeah, she's married. Look at this, Ray.
Yeah, I know. I was Lucy was quite the character. Fun stuff to play as an actress, believe me.
And I like, because the very first episode, you were the little crazy sex pot that they were looking for, but I like how you matured her not long after.
Yeah, well, the writers, as Charlene Tilton grew up, as I got older, they did, but still Lucy still went from man to man, went from guy to guy, had her, her share of flings, and got kidnapped, got addicted to pills. Let's see, what else did I do?
But Lucy wasn't afraid.
Huh?
Lucy was never afraid very often. I mean, she would say what needed to be said. She was not scared of JR by any means to say what needed to be said.
Those were, I loved it when Lucy would stand up to JR. And one of my favorite storylines was when Lucy was engaged to marry Kip Mainwaring, who was the son of the other prominent oil family. And he had to confess to her that he was a homosexual. They couldn't even use the word gay back then. But it was such a great story arc, and they handled it beautifully. And he said, JR knows. And I said, no. Basically, JR's not going to out you. I'm going to take care of JR. But it was so great the way they handled it. It was beautiful. And that was my favorite storyline for Lucy Ewing, because
It was
that was
one of
brilliant.
my favorites too, just for the fact that they weren't afraid to approach that, and they didn't butcher it. They didn't, because back then it wasn't well received being gay, not publicly, and the way they
That
handled it
storyline was so ahead of its time.
it
Oh
sure
my
was. It
God.
sure was. Um, is there a little bit of Lucy in you?
Yeah, absolutely. I understood because I understood her vulnerability, because I understood the fact that her parents had left her, her mom and dad had left her. And I never knew my real father. And my mother was in and out of mental institutions. She was mentally ill. And from the ages of 5 years old to 8 years old, I was in foster homes and went from relative to relative. So I understood Lucy's need for that parental love, that parental, even though she had everything she wanted materialistically, there was still a real void and a vulnerability in her, and something she was chasing. And she chased to chase that love and acceptance. She went from different guy to guy, or shenanigans to shenanigans, where I just went into acting and being goofy.
Well, I'd be remiss if I don't mention three fabulous people from the show. It's Barbara Bel Geddes, Jim Davis, and Larry Hagman. Phenomenal. I mean, all the others are Linda, all the rest of them are, but these I wanted to mention to you because I'm sure that these three held a place close to you, because you seemed really close to that family unit.
Absolutely, I was. Barbara Bel Geddes was nominated for an Oscar for a movie called I Remember Mama. She was the original Maggie in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof on Broadway, and she was truly one of the greatest actresses of all times. And Patrick Duffy and Linda Gray and I were recently together in Germany at German Comic-Con, and we were saying that Barbara could do more with just an jock than anybody could do with 2 pages of dialogue. She was incredible. And when I got to work with her, there was a episode where Miss Ellie had to have a mastectomy. And so my scenes with her were really moving. And again, another subject line that wasn't really talked about back then. And working with her was great. Jim Davis, too, I look back now, just unbelievable. And Larry Hagman, oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah.
What he did with JR was unbelievable. I mean, what you read on paper and what you saw on screen were really two different things. He brought JR to life in a way nobody ever could have.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Nobody could have ever done that role justice, ever.
I think we all did that. We all did that with our characters. We were all very fortunate, and we all were very close. So that helped too. We had a great chemistry with each other, really genuinely loved each other, and still do.
Right. I'm glad to hear that. Linda, actually, she was supposed to be on last week, but she had to postpone to the middle of March. She's going to be on the show as well.
Oh, great.
Looking forward to that.
Oh, she's the best. She's so lovely.
Oh, I hope she gets on the shows, because I've been down. Dallas, your group was, when I started the show, were the ones I had in mind. Y'all were the ones that I really wanted to have on the show.
Oh, you are too sweet. Thank you.
I'm going to change it a little bit up. Can you tell me a little bit about Tell Veronica?
Tell Veronica is a play that I did in Los Angeles at a 99-seat theater at the Hudson Theater. And it's actually a fabulous play that my dear friend Tony Jarris wrote. And Veronica Starr is this crazy talk show host, a combination of Jerry Springer, Sally Jesse Raphael, and Oprah. And I come out of the audience singing a song. If you've got problems in your life, tell Veronica. If you've got troubles with your wife, tell Veronica. And it was, anyway, I'd go through the audience singing, and And then I would have these guests on, and then I'd surprise them with these crazy questions and bizarre. And and the play actually became like the #1 play for a while in Los Angeles. We sold out. It was so much fun to do it. And my daughter actually was in the play as well. She played Honey Bubbles. She was a nun that turned stripper, a nun that became a stripper. So it was a crazy, wacky play. And Lynn Shay, who you know from Snakes on the Plane and all those wonderful horror movies, and Something About Mary. She was Magna, the suntan lady, and Something About Mary. She played my daughter's mother in the play. So,
oh wow, that's cool. I liked one of the guests you had on, or the little conversation you had was Tiffany, the singer, and you were talking about the little blue box because you thought she was from Tiffany's at breakfast.
Oh,
at
yes,
Tiffany's.
yes, yes. That wasn't Tell Veronica. That was something else. But yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
I love that little skit you did. I found it on YouTube. It was just hilarious.
How do I find that on YouTube? That's not Tell Veronica. That's hysterical. I'd love to find that on you.
There's 2 clips. There's that one, and I can't remember who the first one was off the top of my head. But yeah, you threw me when you were like, "Oh, the little blue box," because I knew who Tiffany was. But
That wasn't Tell Veronica. That was something else I did. I'm forgetting the name of that character. That was funny though.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Oh,
somebody asked me if you were going to do some more of those. Actually, I mean,
no, but then you know what? I actually interviewed myself as Charlene Tilton.
That's the first one.
We did we did me as the interview, and then we did myself. So I'm interviewing myself. And the funny thing about that guest is she really didn't know who the hell she was talking to. Like Tiffany, oh, so you're the one they named this beautiful blue box after you. How do I find that on YouTube? What's it called?
I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
To them, and so they can send it to you.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I'll find it.
I've got it.
But I was asked if you could do any more of them, because evidently a lot of people liked it. I loved it.
That's hysterical. That was just like crazy clips we did back in the day. It was just for fun.
But you were just so audacious, just big old glasses and just waving it around.
Oh my God, I've got to see that.
I'll send those links as soon as we get down here. I'll send them so you can have them later on today.
Oh, thank you, Tim. I love you.
That's not a problem. Okay, I'll get a little serious now. You were on the cover of many magazines, I think over 500 if I'm not mistaken, but you were also the target of some tabloid paparazzi.
Oh yeah.
How did you deal with that, especially when you were younger?
Well, the tabloids back then, boy, they would follow you around in cars, driving down the street. They'd be chasing you. The paparazzi would be climbing the trees with the long lenses trying to shoot into your house, and sort of crazy things like that. There were stories. I met the actor James Woods. This is like the first time I was in the tabloids. I literally met him at the very first red carpet sort of star function. I met him. We were talking, said hello. That was it. The next day, oh my gosh, Charlene Tilton is marrying James Woods. And I'm like, I spent 5 minutes with him. And then, and of course, every time I gained a pound, they would talk about that. But it's no different now with social media. I think it's very tough for young people to navigate social media. I find it difficult. I'm kind of really dumb when it comes to social media. I'm not really savvy, but in the social media that I do read, I read so many negative, just mean comments about people, about
Mhm.
people, other people. And it blows my mind, like the vitriol and the hatred and the mean comments. I'm like, I don't get it, because I was always taught, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all. And just,
Well, we were raised at a different time that, we didn't have a computer to hide behind, to say what we want or anything crazy because we could hide behind it. When we were growing up, it was, you can say it to my face and we'll deal with it however we need to deal with it, or don't say it at all, like you said. And I'm so anti putting people's personal business out there. Celebrities, that's nobody's business, in my opinion.
it's just, even recently with Madonna at the Grammys or Rihanna at the Super Bowl or just anything, oh my God, everybody has to put their opinion. Like, their opinion is the most important thing that the world has got to hear, and especially the negative ones. And I'm like, because you know what it does? All those thoughts, and when you write them down, that's energy you're putting out into the universe, into the ether, and that's not good, so
Well,
Bible
Charlotte,
says
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I think our time is up. You've got other guests here waiting to speak with you. I appreciate you being here. I hope you'll come back because I've got so many more questions. You have such great outlook and information to experience and share with people. I would love to have you back sometime.
you are so sweet. Thank you, Tim. And when you talk to Linda, she's truly the most gorgeous woman on the planet. She really is. And she's absolutely lovely. You will adore her.
Oh, and I'm supposed to tell you hello from Gregory Zarian. I was talking to him on the phone the other day when we were setting this up.
Oh, love me. I actually got a message. Okay, good deal.
Good deal. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I'd like to thank Charlene Tilton for being here and chatting with us. I'd like to thank the Necrotizing Fasciitis Foundation for sponsoring our show. For more information on necrotizing fasciitis, please visit www.necfash.org. Please catch Heaven Sent on pureflix.com. And everybody, please be kind. As usual, be kind to one another. And have a great day.